Now, this morning, Forest is looking absolutely stunning today. And in just a moment, we'll join Will Best there and soak up more of the great outdoors.
Yeah, and plenty of people enjoyed being at One with Nature last night. It was gorgeous. Thousands gathered at Stonehenge, didn't they? It's about the longest day of the year. We're going to be looking at that as well later on. But right now...
We're talking about mosquitoes with
now.
the lovely James. James,
yes.
I mean, mosquitoes, they're the most scariest things ever in the whole wide world. But most of us think mosquitoes are terrors. Are there anything good about mosquitoes that they can offer to our society?
Yeah, nobody likes a mosquito,
no,
do they?
No, they really don't.
Except me, because I'm a little bit weird. But, I mean, mosquitoes are food. They're part of the food chain. So birds and bats eat them, and when they're babies, they're swimming about in the water, so they're food for fish.
So they're kind of vital in terms of the food chain.
And they pollinate as well.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they do. So they've got a bit of a place in the ecosystem.
Like bees?
Yeah. Well, people don't like get stung by bees, do they? But bees look a bit nicer, maybe, than mosquitoes, so they like them a bit.
OK.
So, do we need to worry about the headlines about the tiger mosquito? Explain what the tiger mosquito is and why we're talking about it.
Is that it there?
That's
huge.
it there, yeah. So, I mean, so these are called Asian tiger mosquitoes, and the name is because you can see these sort of black and white stripes on the body and on the legs. So that's why it's called that. And basically, they're from the tropics originally, but because of climate change and global travel, they've moved now into parts of Europe. So they're found throughout France and Italy and Greece.
Do they come over on, like, ships and stuff? Like,
yeah, There's quite an...
Part of fruit or something, isn't it?
Yeah, so...
Is that how they came over?
So, yeah, some of them came over because they basically opened up a big shipping container full of bamboo and plants from Southeast Asia, and they opened up and a swarm of mosquitoes came out.
Oh,
and then they established...
And that's it, I guess.
And that's it, yeah, so there's not much you can do. So we don't really have them here in the UK. They have been found a couple of times here, and they come over and they're found sort of along motorways, so people are coming from Europe in their cars or trucks, opening the door and they're coming out. But because the temperatures are getting higher, we're getting longer summers, we're getting warmer winters, there is a chance that they might settle here in the UK as well.
Wow.
Who's at risk from getting bitten by these mosquitoes? Because I've noticed I don't actually get bitten very often. Yeah, it's ever so weird, and I don't know why. And then you get people complaining about it, and I'm like, he's totally lying. But they're not lying. It's
a real thing.
People
Also,
get
some
bitten.
people get, like, I get bitten on the first day of a holiday, and then I don't tend to get bitten.
And then that's
again.
it.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get bitten.
Yeah.
They don't like me.
Yeah.
What's going on, James?
So basically, you smell like a human, and you smell a bit abnormal.
Superhuman.
So if you don't get bitten, your smell is different and you don't really smell human-like, which is a good thing. So you've kind of evolved this superpower. But it's scientifically proven.
It's literally on the smell of the person?
Yeah, it's all to do with smell.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So when we say at risk, how are, like, I just got back from holiday, my son got savaged on the first night. And then he didn't again. Like, we put the plug-ins in and, he was fine after that. So are we at risk or is it just an annoyance?
No, I mean, we are at risk if you're overseas. So, you can go to a tropical country, you could get something like dengue or malaria. That's really, really serious. So you really need to protect yourself when you're in those countries.
See, I think I got dengue. I went to go and see Dee in the Cook Islands years ago, and it wiped me out. I was hallucinating. I thought I was in Lord of the Rings for a week.
Are you joking?
Yeah, I just had to take myself off to bed in a hotel room.
Well, it's called breakbone fever.
What is that?
What's going on in his body when that happens?
Yeah, I mean, you would have probably had a really high temperature and your body would have been trying to cope. Your immune system kicks in and is trying to fight this virus, and there's not really a treatment for it, so you kind of have to ride it out, unfortunately.
Wow. So,
and it's pretty horrendous, isn't it?
We know that, like, parts of Italy and stuff used to have malaria. But with global warming, is malaria coming back to Northern Europe, and how much should we be worried about it?
Yeah, so we are beginning to see diseases start to spread north again, and that's because of climate change. So the temperature is increasing. That means the mosquitoes that can spread the disease are moving northwards as well. And, as I said, these mosquitoes are in Europe. It's only a matter of time, probably, before they come over to the UK and settle here. But we have to remember, we did have malaria here about 70 years ago in the south of England, and we kind of wiped it out. So we're lucky because we've got access to really good healthcare systems.
How did we wipe it out? Is it you just become immune to it, or how does it work?
No. So basically, there was a whole heap of things that happened, but one of the things was that all the wetlands began and the marshes began to be drained for agriculture, and that wiped out the habitat where mosquitoes usually live, and that helped to kind of wipe them out. But we still get people coming back to the UK, and we still have mosquitoes here that can transmit malaria. And so, you know, we do occasionally get 1 or 2 people that get malaria here in this country because a mosquito has come over on a plane, for example.
Sure.
And they basically feed on your blood, don't they? That's what they're essentially doing.
They are feeding on your blood, that's right. You can see this one belly full of blood. Yeah, so it's 2.5 times their own body weight in blood.
Wow.
And that's basically to produce eggs. So they need the protein in the blood to produce eggs and breed.
Which is why it's the female of the species.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just the female, yeah.
I want to prevent this. Can you tell us, give us some prevention? I can see some products there.
Yes, that's right.
Prevention in our homes.
Exactly. So there are things that you can do. So if you're staying somewhere with electricity, you can buy a plug-in like this. Now, this is really good because it contains an insecticide, and that basically will kill anything that flies in there. So you've got to be a bit careful with it. You don't want to be killing everything around you.
Yeah.
But if there are a lot of mosquitoes around, this is really, really good. So that's definitely recommended.
You swear by that, do you?
I do. I think it's really good. It'll stop them coming in, and if they come in, they'll die. So.
And say, like, you've got a little baby, can you put that in the baby's room, or is it's not going to damage the child or anything?
Yeah, I mean, every product will be different. Read the label and follow the instructions.
Yeah.
They'll all have been tested, and you know, so there'll be instructions there. So follow the instructions. The other thing that you can do is wear a repellent that you can put on the skin.
Yeah.
Now, there are 4 active ingredients that you need to look out for, and you need to get a pen for this because it's...
I've got a pen. Come on. Tell me everything.
So, basically, I'm not sure if we've got it on screen here or not, but basically you've got DEET, and everybody's scared to use DEET, but don't be scared to use DEET. It is really effective. There we go. Oh. We've also got PMD, or oil of lemon eucalyptus, not citronella, but PMD or oil of lemon eucalyptus, that works really well as well. Picaridin and IR3535. So they're not particularly catchy names.
I mean, IR3535 sounds like it's doing me an awful lot of good.
Well, exactly. And you can get them roll-ons or you can get them sprays. And the really important thing, I've seen people, you know, they get a repellent like this and they spray it into the air and then they just kind of like walk through it like it's a perfume. That ain't going to do anything.
You've got to spray it on your skin.
You've got to put it on like a suntan lotion everywhere.
And what about the Puritan and the likes?
Yeah, so, I mean...
This is if you do get bitten.
If you've got bitten, then, you know, the number one thing is don't scratch your bites. I know it's really hard
so hard not to.
You've got to not scratch your bites. You can take antihistamines.
Yeah.
Take them before you go, because it takes a wee bit of time for them to build up. There are different...
Maybe that's the reason I don't get bitten, because I'm on antihistamines all the time.
All the time.
Because I get a lot of hay fever.
Well, you might not react very much then, and then you don't realise you're being bitten. But you can use creams, but the best thing is to keep the bite as clean as possible. Don't scratch it. It can become infected because it becomes a wound. And then, you know, and I'm not joking, some people could lose a limb because of an infection, although that's rare. But take it seriously, don't scratch it, no matter how itchy they are. And I know what it's like, don't scratch your bites.
What a terrifying end to the...
Sorry about
Starts
that.
Mosquitoes, ends with losing a leg. Thanks, Professor.
Thank you, Professor.
Thanks, James. Brilliant.
Hi, everyone. Just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.